The job's not bad, you know. I used to work in a supermarket. Now that was mindless. Sat around all day, bored out of your head, dreaming for the weekend. At least when you're here, you can have the odd cig and a natter. You see, I just want an easy life, no pressure, and I want someone to take care of me, and I think I found that with Steve, I do. Adele thinks she's the only one with problems. Oh God, who is she kidding? Talk about skeletons in the cupboard, I've got a kitchen suite full of them. You see, there's something I ought to tell Steve. I think it's only fair. You see, when I was 16, I used to go to this tacky bar with my mates. It had this awful painting of the Manhattan skyline right around the walls and a drawing of the Statue of Liberty that was about 9 times too big, sticking out from behind a skyscraper. The New York bar? What? I thought it was great. And I met this guy there, Pete. He was a barman. He was a lot older than me and really good looking. I thought he was great. We had a brilliant time, lots of laughs, and I was still a virgin. He didn't force me to sleep with him, but I just fancied him that much, and it felt like the most exciting thing in the world that I just couldn't help myself.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. Well done. Take your time, break the gaze. Flat.
The job's not bad, you know. I used to work in a supermarket. Now that was mindless. Sat around all day, bored out of my head, dreaming for the weekend. Well, at least when you're here, you can have the odd cig and a natter. You see, I just want an easy life and no pressures. And I do want someone to care for me, and I think I found that with Steve. I do. Adele, she thinks she's the only one with problems. I mean, who is she kidding? Talk about skeletons in the cupboard, I've got a kitchen suite full of them. There's something I've got to tell Steve. I think it's only fair. You see, when I was 16, I used to go to this tacky bar with my mates. It had this awful painting of the Manhattan skyline right around the walls and a drawing of the Statue of Liberty that's about 9 times too big, sticking up from behind a skyscraper. The New York bar? What? Oh, I thought it was great. And I met this guy there. Pete, he was a barman. He was a lot older than me, but really good looking. We had a great time, lots of laughs, and I was still a virgin. But he didn't force me to sleep with him. I just found him so good looking, and it's the most exciting thing in the world. I just couldn't help myself. But I wasn't stupid. I tried to get on the pill, but I'd had a jaundice when I was a kid, so I got a cap. But I've got a coil now, so it's all okay. Anyway, we went on holiday for 2 weeks up to Scotland, but I told my mum I was going with my mates. I thought I was pregnant when I went, but I didn't tell anyone. I pushed it to the back of my mind, but it was impossible because I just kept seeing mothers with pushchairs and pregnant women and tiny clothes on hangers and babies and magazines. So I went to the chemist and searched among the Durex for a DIY testing kit. I read all over my hands trying to get it in the test tube. It was horrible. Why do they make them so small? 2 hours later, the change in colour and the stiffness in my stomach said everything. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I asked for an abortion. I mean, neither me or Pete would want this thing that would tie us together forever. It's a big responsibility. And what would my mum have said, or my mates? And what about the rest of my life? I mean, how was I supposed to look after a baby? I was only 16. I only had 2 GCSEs.
Amazing.